guys, what is up? It is the Good Vibes Podcast, and I'm bringing you good waves, good vibes, and good times. And so, I know, it's a little more official, right? We're going for kind of a new vibe, you know, on Mondays, the Monday segments, the Monday videos. To be honest, this isn't even really a podcast anymore. The videos are edited, so it's hard to take the audio and put that onto Podbean or onto iTunes or onto things like that. And so, if you guys really would like to, I still wouldn't mind. I mean, I've got the microphone and everything, so I still wouldn't mind doing a podcast, like a weekly podcast sort of deal. So I really wouldn't mind doing that. And if you guys like to be able to have something to listen to that's like not on YouTube, I mean, that's fine. Anyway, so this is Monday's video, but this will probably be uploaded on Tuesday. So anyway, guys, we're bringing back the news segment. For some of you who have been able to stay with me through Podbean, actually, I started recording back in November, October-ish. And so for those of you who've stayed with me through all of that, I mean, the news segment was every Monday we do some news. And so we're going to bring back the news segment. So just a little video. And so I like to call this now, it's official, it's time for some table talk. Table talk. Let's get down to it, guys. I got the table. So the first story, you guys may have heard about this one. You may have seen it. It's fairly recently. Sunday, the Oroville Dam out in California on Lake Oroville. It is actually the second largest dam that holds water in the U.S. And that dam, due to a lot of recent storms and floods that have been coming through, that dam is now overflowing. And they expected it to actually collapse through a flood Sunday. And so what it was there were 100,000 people that were told to evacuate out of the city. And what it was the water was literally flowing over the edge of the dam. Like it was filled all the way up to the brim, all the way up to the top of the brink or whatever. And water was just pouring over and gushing like a waterfall. And then from there, it was like they were using like a fail-safe system where they were letting more water drain. But when the water started to drain out to release some of the water from the dam, it was actually an unpaved portion. And so the water was rushing out so fast, and they thought that it was going to start corroding the rock and like eroding it down. And so they were really worried that if the water was rushing any faster, that it would erode all of it and the dam would just burst, flooding all of the cities downstream and under Lake Oroville because it sits up high. And so, like I said, Sunday was when they expected that to happen, and they released that, and they told 100,000 people that, listen, we're urging you to evacuate, and things on that matter. And so, even though the immediate threat is not imminent, that's what I wrote down. Even though it's really not imminent anymore, they think that they have got it under control. They have the floodwaters really, sort of subdued. They placed boulders, and it's kind of dying down now. But another storm is supposed to be coming through Thursday on California, and so they're still kind of holding out, putting out hopes and stuff like that. So, but they think that they do have it under control, and they're excited for that. And yada. Well, I mean, what people are gonna live. Dams scare me. I think the closest thing that we have dammed up around here is Smith Lake, and I don't know if that's dammed or not. We have the Wheeler Dam, I know, but I can't remember if Smith Lake is dammed or not. But that's pretty terrifying. I know on the Battlefield 4 campaign, there's a dam that explodes, and just through the video game, honestly, it's a little bit terrifying. I don't think I'd ever want to be caught with one in real life. But the people out there in California really are trying to survive. There were a couple of instances where they weren't really telling people what was going on, and so they spoke with a World War I veteran or a Vietnam veteran, and it was one of the two wars, and he was 92 years old, and he said that this happened. The dam was built in 1968, and this is actually the first time that it's ever filled up to the brink like that since 1968. But he said that they had a scare back in the 1970s where this had happened, and he didn't take heed to it or whatever. You know, he didn't have a car, he didn't have whatever. And so, but now that it was actually flooding over like that, and it threatened to flood the whole city. And then there was another couple that they were in town like on visiting, and they tried to get his mother-in-law to come down and get them, and she got stuck. So they were stuck waiting outside of a CVS, just really hoping the dam didn't blow over. I mean, they would be dead and done for. The second story, you guys have heard about the North Dakota pipeline, and there was a big protesting and things like that under Obama's administration, and there was a lot of stuff going on with there, and they didn't really, I mean, it kind of was stagnant for a while. It was kind of, I mean, just kind of like whatever. But now Donald Trump has given the go forth, the go through, whatever you want to call it, and they're now proceeding to continue building the 1,700-mile pipeline. And so it's a very, very large crude oil pipeline. But the protesters that had a camp where the final segment of the pipeline was going to go, it's a camp sitting on 80 acres, ranging from, like, it's about 2,000 protesters. And what it is they were protesting, but now they have a federal eviction notice that they have to leave. The pipeline's coming through, and all where they have camped is turned into like soggy ground or whatever, because the warm temperatures have melted the snow in North Dakota. And so their 80-acre camp is just now a gigantic pit of mud. And they called themselves the water protectors. And what it was they didn't want the pipeline to come through because they felt like the pipeline was, well, to put it, the $3.8 billion pipeline, this is a quote, the tribe that the pipelines land, it passes through an Indian tribal land. So it's passing through sacred ground to the Indians. And so it passes through Native Americans. And it passes through their land, and the pipeline is $3.8 billion. But it threatens their water supply, it crosses sacred burial grounds for them, and it violates long-standing treaties with the government. And so the tribe is really being pushed. I don't remember the tribe name. I don't even think I learned about it. But the tribe is really, really pushing to stop this pipeline, to keep it from coming off of their grounds. But now they are ordered under federal notice to be, they've got to get out before February the 22nd. And so after that, the Army Corps is coming in with their engineers, and they're going to finish installing the last bit of the pipeline. And so it says that people are pinning their hopes on a court date coming up in Washington on Monday to put a temporary restraining order on the pipeline. It won't be like a permanent thing, but a temporary restraining order. They're still really trying to get that. There was a man that was a spokesperson for the pipelines to stop, and he was supposed to fly out to DC from North Dakota to give one final pitch to try to stop the pipeline, and they had already made their minds up to continue the pipeline, and they made the verdict while he was still in the air. And so the tribe and the people that are around the area of the land said that this came as a really, really, really big slap in the face of them, that they decided to go through the pipeline without even doing any sort of environmental studies or impacts on how the pipeline could affect the area. So it's a pretty big deal to them, but protesting is good. It's an amendment that you should exercise freely and be able to exercise freely, and I think that you should do it if, you know, somebody goes against something, what you stand for or your morals. I mean, you're supposed to protest that, and you're not supposed to let somebody just trample over what you believe in. So protesting is a great thing, but here it's hard to fight the man. Now it can be done, but it's hard to do it. And this is, I mean, to be honest, it's just kind of disheartening. The next thing that happened on the agenda was actually on Super Bowl Sunday, and what it was 3 college students from Boston University, after they were done celebrating or whatever, they were walking home a little bit after midnight, and they were able to stop an ongoing art heist. Now, to me, this story sounded a little bit fishy. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. So I'll let you guys hear the story, and then I want y'all to come back at the end. So it was 3 college students, and their names were Jesse Doe, Chris Savanio, and Mackenzie Thompson. And they were walking home after celebrating the Patriots' win. And they walked up to this art museum being robbed. They heard the alarm bells going off, and this man ran and dropped, he dropped 4 paintings, and they sprinted after him to catch him. They said, well, should we do something? And so I think it was Chris, if I'm not mistaken. He's a 6'3", he's 6'3", and he was able to pin the culprit, Jordan Russell Leishman, and he was able to pin him onto a mailbox and subdue him. And then Jesse, I might have to swap. Jesse went and he got the paintings, and he was able to wave down a nearby Boston police cruiser and return the paintings. And so Jordan Russell Leishman stole $45,000 worth of 4 paintings from the Galerie d'Orsay after midnight. And so when all of this happened, Sally Hirschberg, the co-owner, said it would cost $5,000 to repair the damages from the broken windows and things like that. And so the stolen pieces that he stole were Picasso, Rembrandt, and lithographs by Joan Miro and Marc Chagall. And so this is kind of where the story gets. This was kind of where I was like, it sounds odd. So what he did was he broke through into like the main foyer area where there was not an alarm, there was no alarm set. And so what he did was he smashed the glass that goes into the actual art exhibit. Well, he waited 20 minutes from the time that he smashed the glass to reach over and open the door handle and go inside and steal the art museum. Now, I mean, that's weird. I don't see why you want to do it all. But then it gets even weirder. He walked by a Pablo Picasso piece worth $90,000 and went straight for the Picasso piece that was worth $1,800. So he stole that. And then on the Rembrandt piece, he stole the Rembrandt piece that was worth, no, he took the Pablo Picasso piece for $1,800. And then he walked by the Rembrandt piece for, he got the one from Rembrandt for like it was close to $9,000-ish. It was a decent piece, like $15,000 in between there. But he walked by another Rembrandt piece that was the same exact size, but worth like $60,000 or $45,000. So he took the 2 like cheapest paintings from Picasso and Rembrandt, and then he got the lithographs. In total, it was like $45,000. But he walked past the Picasso piece worth $90,000, and then walked past the most expensive Rembrandt piece, which is the same size as the poster. And so he stole those, and then he had a 5th piece that he took out of the entryway, but dropped it when he saw the college kids coming. Now, to me, this could just be a conspiracy, I'm thinking, but it sounds fishy to me, as in these 3 kids, or 4 kids, wanted their 5 seconds of fame. And what it was there was 4 of them, one of them drew the short straw, had to break into an art museum, which is weird. But it's funny how he waited 20 minutes, kind of like, you know, they hadn't left or they weren't ready to stage walking down the street or whatever. He waited 20 minutes from busting the glass and then reaching over the handle to do that. And then it's like he stole the non-important pieces so he can make it look like it was an art heist, but he ended up dropping them anyway. He didn't even try to run with the art pieces now. He dropped them and then kept going, as in like, you know, but he didn't want to damage the most expensive one. I don't know. And then he got pinned up against a mailbox. I mean, 6'3" is a pretty big dude. It says that he caught up to him and bear hugged him, but he got pinned against a mailbox. And so I don't know. I mean, the story it sounds like it has maybe a little bit of some holes in it, but that's just me speaking. I don't know. Anyway, U.S. immigration has been able to arrest over 600 to 680 illegal immigrants in 1 week. And so it's been Donald Trump and his administration, and they have been going into, doing immigration raids is what the headlines were saying it was. But they are, out of all of the people that they have caught and deported, or getting ready to deport, 75% of them have had hard criminal records, and that's like involving immigration violations. They've been deported but come back into the country illegally, and like gangbanging, raping, drug deals. I mean, things like that, like the hard stuff, the bad stuff. And so he's been going after those, and he's been arresting people, detaining them, sending them back, and really doing a crackdown on them. But he's also going after people that are doing like low-level offenses, also like illegal immigrants that are pursuing, or maybe like a DUI or a misdemeanor or whatever. He's going after low-level offense illegal immigrants. And now Barack Obama did the same thing. He targeted criminal migrants immigrants. But he did not target ones with low-level offenses. He did raids and things like that onto people with like high offense and deported them. And he deported he raided over 2,000, while Donald Trump is still only at 680 within a week. And so even at the end of the summer in 2016, he was still cracking down on he was starting to move more towards low-level offense immigrants. And so really deporting them back and doing things like that. And so the quote from Trump says that we're actually taking people that are criminals, very, very hardened criminals, in some cases with a tremendous track record or abuse and problems. And that's who they're tracking. We're actually taking people that are criminals, very, very hardened criminals, in some cases with a tremendous track record or abuse and problems. That's he would say. And so anyway, they've been doing that, and they've made raids in Los Angeles all the way to New York, and they've been going across the country doing illegal and getting them deported and whatnot. And so anyway, so a lady in Wyoming was able to pay off all of a local elementary lunch account balances. So she walked in, and she's anonymous, and she asked if there were any students who had a negative account balance in their lunch. And so they printed her off a list, but they said, yeah, there are, and she asked to see them, and so they printed her off a list. And they went, and she paid for several $100s, close to $1,000 worth of negative lunch account balances. And so they said that it's hard for parents to keep up with this because it's a $3 a day sort of meal, and after a while that just adds up, and it gets to where kids get kicked off the program where they can't eat, and it becomes a very large tab that not a lot of people can pay back. And so she walked in and was able to pay. She paid off all of their account balances, and so I thought that was really, really neat. It's pretty cool. It's pretty helpful. When going back to Christmas, when we discussed Good Samaritan sort of deals that we talked in around Christmas and things like that, and so people were able to come and do all that sort of stuff. So I mean, it's really heartwarming to be able to see and do all that sort of stuff. A 4-year-old pit bull, which you guys know, I mean, I have 2 pit bulls, Jello and Trent, adopted, and I mean, they're great. A 4-year-old pit bull was adopted in Philadelphia, and it will not stop cuddling with its owner that adopted him. And the 4-year-old Russ, a brown and white pit bull, was found at the shelter by a 20-year-old college student named Filoon. And what had happened was, Filoon, she saw this dog. He was sitting down like a gentleman. Her words were, he didn't say anything, or he can't say anything. He didn't make a noise. He didn't do anything. And so she was like, I want this dog. So she adopted him, and she took him out, and they got chicken nuggets, and now he was abused, and now he's with her, and he will not stop cuddling with her, and he loves her. He will not leave her side, and it's just great. Dogs are great. Dogs are gonna go to heaven. Thank you guys so much for listening. Stay tuned to the midweek talk show. I guess we'll start calling it midweek. And so the questions, you'll be able to send those in Tuesday. I'll record it on Wednesday, and it should be out on Thursday or Wednesday night, later than that. Alright guys, thank you for listening, and Friday, I think I said thank you for listening like 6 times. Fridays will be another Kurt Cop, and we'll have those edited and out as soon as we can. Thanks for listening. Anyway, stay funky guys, I love you, and I'll catch you on the flip.